I've got Ernie on the phone right now. Ernie actually runs the haunted graveyard if you're thinking about going this weekend or one of the upcoming weekends.
The haunted graveyard sounds spooky and looks it.
Somewhere in the darkness of this dreadful place, a horrifying legend's coming true.
The legend of the lake returns with the haunted graveyard at Lake Compounce.
When the haunted graveyard started in that backyard in Middletown 19 years ago, it only had about 20 headstones. Now it has so many more. Roma Jolly gave us a peek into the spectacle that now has grown to include 175 actors.
Kind of like the same as any other year, except this year we got to set up. We had to put everything up and make most of the graveyard look the way it does when most people go through.
I wasn't there very often, but when I was, it was kind of irritating.
Pretty annoying just because it was really hot out. It's really hot and really, you gotta pick up a lot of heavy stuff. Can't move it. Plans kept getting changed a lot. Ernie? He's a good guy. Ernie was awesome.
Ernie is the owner of the whole thing.
He's also, he's got all the ideas on how we're gonna run it and what we're gonna build.
He's quite hilarious.
Really funny.
He was nice. He remembered my name the first time I told him.
The first year we started, I didn't know who the hell Ernie was. He's really cool. He's probably one of the nicest people I ever worked with.
Great guy to work with.
Stressful when your boss keeps changing his mind and you're changing your mind and nobody's happy, and then you start sweating because for some reason it's hot on the second day of fall.
Well, then you get a soda in your hands, right? So let me get $1.
That was a productive day. Got a lot done.
Yeah.
Set up witches.
Can there be a fire?
Ben, come here. Oh, hey, come here.
Had to work behind the scenes and deal with all the backstage stuff and set it up.
Stapling and nailing and stapling.
We set up the cemetery with blood, sweat, and tears.
We had to take like 30 mannequins from this trailer.
I thought the prop trailer was really cool just because of the way the actual prop trailers looked.
It's a really cool looking place because it's just a bunch of beat up old tractor trailer beds.
Going across the street to go get access to the trailers. Oh God, they're in the box truck! We're going to get the family plots for putting things on missing. Woo!
There were like 20 costume sheds. Most of them were just filled with props.
I like this trophy a lot.
There's some cool swords.
Got to see like the insides of each house in all their like respective trailers.
No, we don't need tables. And there's a giant dirt mountain that we climbed up.
We had to set up all of the zombies in the graveyard.
We had to hammer and rebar into the ground.
And we had to bring them back and then dress them and then set them up with the zip ties, and that was a whole other pain in the ass.
That was a... And I actually had a lot of fun. I think that might have been my favorite part this year.
You know it's actually going to work and scare people, so almost a sense of pride there.
Have a piece of gum?
Joe.
Yeah, I only got one piece though.
What kind is it?
Like mint gum? Like Dentine Ice?
Oh my God! Collision experts, it's funny.
What's this one going to be named?
I don't know.
You should just call it Ernie.
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Alright. Got your eyes?
I got my eyes.
We opened at like 7.
It was almost like, because we were there, like, setting up and everything, so it was just like, alright, we're back, but now, this time we're scaring people.
It was like the most unprepared night because it was the first night.
This is right? This is how is it supposed to go down lower?
Pull it down.
Is it fastened like in the back?
No,
Pull it down
my
from
head
the
is
back.
too big.
Flip the thing up. Or something. Yeah, like that.
But it was just nostalgia, I guess you could put it, so it's always fun to go back.
Let's see, if my memory serves me correctly, it was raining.
We didn't have a lot of rain this year.
We only had rain the rehearsal night. That wasn't too bad, but for some reason, it rained a lot during the week.
Everything was always flooded.
There would just be rivers of water running into Manor.
It was horrible.
Yes.
And they usually originated from the moat in Vampires.
The moat thing that's there,
Too much water in that moat.
there's dead things in it. And there's a lot of giant puddles that form.
There was a gigantic hidden puddle.
In the parlor, behind the wall, there was just a giant puddle, at least a foot deep of water.
We don't know how this even got here, scientifically.
We have no idea how that happened because it was kind of under a roof.
Also gets trapped on the roofs.
I had to go up a ladder and walk on this roof that had the possibility of collapsing.
You're way down all wet. I gotta point that out.
That's fine.
Power is indeed.
And we shouldn't be working, but we
Power's out, Manor's flooded, tonight's going to
work just so we can get some good
And
footage of us being completely miserable. Why are you filming our demise?
That's what we did.
This is terrible.
This
Nothing
is
is working.
how long is this before it opens? We just got.
We have like an hour.
So it's leaking now?
Did you see where it's leaking?
Yeah. It's the first night I managed.
Are you excited for your first managerial job?
No. Yeah.
What are you planning on doing tonight?
Managing.
I enjoyed Ben as a manager.
Ben was a good manager. He didn't take no crap from anyone.
In all honesty, I really didn't take Ben seriously.
It's pretty cool. It's kind of scary though.
Didn't really yell if we did anything wrong.
Nobody had any complaints about him.
I mean, he is our friend, so it's kind of hard for him to just take power over us.
My question is for people here last night.
I was here last night.
He was nice. He did it right. He didn't, like, make it not fair.
Kind of sucked because actors kind of sucked.
It's very lenient.
And suck.
Put people in their place. You know what I mean?
A lot of things Ben said started with, hey, you guys should, and then whatever we had to do.
Ben was a good manager, but he would have a huge fetish for his flashlight.
Carry around a flashlight.
No matter what time or who was going through, he would make sure to flash light in your eyes in the middle of a very, very dark area. How was last night, Ben?
What?
Ben was now the manager because he was the last person who would scare, so he just took the role. But honestly, any of us would have taken it if we didn't choose together as a group.
I had a dream that, like, my sink, I was doing dishes and it was filled with pond water.
There's nothing you can do.
Get out of here.
There's nothing you can do. Hey! When it came to people complaining a lot, they never got their way. Unless your name is Peter.
In my eyes like I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
Peter.
Peter is a little kid.
Didn't really have a problem with him.
Peter was sometimes good at scaring people.
He followed me around the very first day I met him and asked me a bunch of questions that I couldn't answer because I wasn't there ever.
I think he was at the front door most of the time.
I remember one time he said, "Welcome to the manor, we'll teach you some manners."
After a while, he thought to go and ask me the questions.
When he wasn't complaining or breaking his own nose inside his mask so there's blood dripping down his neck, he was doing a pretty good job.
Walt was the man.
He runs the thing, the graveyard.
Well, it's really nice.
Organizes all of it and stuff.
He made you feel like comfortable. He didn't like awkward around you. He was just himself.
Walt is a guy that we've been working with since the beginning.
So he didn't used to be like the head guy, he used to be just like a scare actor.
He was an assistant manager the first year, he was our manager the second year, and then he took over as the producer pretty much of the entire graveyard.
It's kind of weird not having him as a house manager.
I don't know, he's a cool dude.
He knows what he's doing.
I was Mr. Delamort, the main man, the owner of the Delamort Manor, where we're having a dinner party and I'm gonna steal your soul.
This year, I finally found, like, a character. So, it was actually a lot better. I got a lot more scares than I did last year, so.
I wore a chef's apron.
It's fun, exciting, different.
I had a cane with me, and I scared a lot of people because I thought it was fake.
I was Willy Wonka. I would do this very odd guttural sound from my throat that was quite painful. By the end of the night, I'm not gonna demonstrate it.
Being Mr. Delamore, I really didn't have the element of surprise.
That was kind of fun to wear. I spilled some fajita sauce or whatever we had for break on it.
So I had to rely on being really loud and really insane, like to the point where I was biting my own arm.
Hey, chef, what's for dinner?
Or throwing myself into a wall or something because I was just running around. I didn't really have a room. I didn't have a corner to hide in.
It's hard to walk backwards.
Somebody's cooking something.
And, yeah, no element of surprise for me, just complete insanity. So I got to scare everywhere and do my own thing.
Again, nothing really new with the makeup this year.
Big pain in the ass usually because there's a lot of people who have to get their makeup done.
Every day we went there, I tried to arrange it so that Manor was in every single chair, and it never happened until the last day.
Yeah, still don't really enjoy getting makeup, but it's fine, I guess.
Makeup for me was fine. It took 5 minutes to do fake blood on my face. But they always tried to aim for my eyes, so that was cool.
It still hurt because I had to put makeup on my eye.
Makeup for me was always hoping to get one of the better makeup artists. I don't want to sound insulting, but you know what I mean.
Mary Beth did my makeup a majority of the days.
Well, I only went to Mary Beth, so I didn't go to anyone else.
Usually how it went, you usually had to get the base coat first.
You know, we could never paint the base because that would be spreading germs, because we're disgusting people.
And then wait in another line to get the regular makeup done.
Black old man lines painted on our face or something.
It was hard to take off in the end.
And she normally likes to cut off your cheek and have your teeth showing, or do a big slash around your face, or do a happy stitch smile and other crazy Mary Beth things that only Mary Beth could do and no one else, because no one else is as creative or crazy as Mary Beth. And crazy is a good thing.
I think it would have been better with just white. That would have been freakier.
Why are people crazy?
You're my friend, right? Because you like her. You're kidding me. No, I'm my friend.
One time, when I was running through the attic and I was scaring some little kid, he ran at me and pushed me so hard that I flew out of an emergency exit, and I did a reverse backflip into a van and hit my head on the tire.
They would take their child in a stroller through, and then it's too scary. Like, don't bring your child in a stroller through a haunted house.
Electricity was usually cutting in and out. The compressors were never working. Half of the stuff that was supposed to jump up didn't jump up.
The first week or so, a bookcase that was supposed to pretend fall forward, like you're gonna die, it's gonna crush you, wasn't working. And then I went to go hide right behind that bookcase, and it decided to work at that moment and fall forward for the first time. And I was convinced that this bookcase was falling on me. So I was trying to push it upwards, and it has, like, force pushing it downward, and I'm losing this battle. I couldn't believe that a bookcase was just defeating me so soundly. Then it let up, and then I realized what an idiot I was. And then I decided I wasn't going to hide anymore.
There's a giant guy that walked through, And he was like, honestly, like 7.5 feet tall and about 500 pounds. And just walking through, like bumping into shit, he was drunk off his ass. And he told me to follow him, and I got really scared because he was like twice my everything size. And I'd follow him through the whole thing.
It was in the manner of Victorian era top hats. One day I was just throwing it up and catching it, and I kept doing that. And one time I was just when Dave was talking to me, and I threw it up, and it went on the roof. And then the next day I had to get a ladder, and it was still there, standing upright, and it was really awesome.
There's some turns that where you don't know. Specifically, there's one in the manor that everyone goes down, so you have to just tell them not to go, and it's kind of
Right. They try and go left when there is no left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's somehow confusing.
Everything gets broken every night, so you gotta put the trees up again. And you gotta take this bucket, and you gotta steal rainwater from one bucket to the other one, because the pumps will burn out, and then we got a real big problem. Like one night I walked by, and there was like pasty white rain. One used the other bucket over there that's filled with paint and water. I wasn't gonna drain a whole like 30-gallon trough of water just because some idiot put paint in it.
Someone in the living room, there's a mannequin that is laying seductively on a couch. I had come back to the living room, and there was $1 sitting on top of this mannequin's buttocks. So I took it.
Great trailer this year was a lot better than it was last year.
It always was much more comfortable and empty when we went, instead of the really crowded areas like it usually is.
Go and break, and you get some food and drink for like 15 minutes.
The break trailer was not a fun place. It was so cramped.
Again, giant pain in the ass. Lots of people.
Pretty good, especially when it's like hot dogs and beans or pizza.
Pizza. There was a lot of pizza this year.
It's incredibly hard, first off, to eat anything when you're wearing makeup.
Like 11 o'clock at night, you're pretty damn hungry.
Then you have to sit there and listen to people talk about crap that you don't care about.
And nobody yelled at me to close the door because they were cold.
There was a woman who, while me and Beans were on break, had a giant spider
on the
back of her neck. And I just decided not to tell her, because what does a person do if there's a giant spider on them? They flick it off. It could land on me.
In retrospect, that is very true.
Yeah, so I just left it there. And she must have discovered a giant spider on her at one point.
She could become Spider-Woman.
Indeed.
I don't want to take down the queue line tomorrow. Oh yeah, we gotta do that. I gotta film that too. Right? Am I right?
You want me to stop?
So here we are. The final acting night, the final actual graveyard night, but we're not done yet. Nope. Gotta come back tomorrow and put things away.
Last day was, kind of a relief.
I think the last weekend was the greatest because it's just the last weekend.
Usually I go on Halloween. I was gonna skip that night, but I didn't.
After a while, screaming at people, hitting the wall with things, you kind of get tired and you want to break.
But they keep coming back year after year.
I actually love the Haunted Graveyard, even though it was my first year. I had a lot of fun doing it. I enjoyed it.
It didn't really feel like the last day because we were still going to be there for a week or two afterwards.
It is election day, November 2nd, and yet we are still working at the Haunted Graveyard. Of course.
Takedown was a lot of fun. Taking down a bunch of shit and moving them all place to place. Big pain in the ass.
Full setup and takedown were pretty chill.
There was a lot of stuff to take down. A lot of stuff to take down.
And a lot of stapling of plastic bags over things. Ben stapled his finger.
One particular instance, we were taking down Zombie Forest, all the foam noodles that hang from the wall, and my sister was annoying me, so took one of the foam things and I hit her with it.
That hurt really bad.
Taking down was a lot more relaxed, but we had a sharper deadline. Why is all this
Just crush my Can't wait to scare the shit out of people again.
People like gotta be not as weird.
We pretty much all together watched over the manor.
I'm the best manager in the whole thing. I mean, we had to clean his costume shreds.
Definitely gonna do it next year. 'Cause I had a lot of fun, obviously.
I hope to keep doing it for as long as I can.
I'm never coming back.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Can't do it.